do it. Send us an email. Shoot me, I don't care. Take a picture while you're in the grocery store. Send it on Facebook, Messenger, or whatever media you use nowadays. And we will do our best to get back to you as soon as possible and answer that question. I will say, I think it was Michelle who sent me a lot of emails in the beginning. And the odds are, if you're questioning Michelle, what's the answer? No. No. I think we had a lot of no's early on last year. You learned your lesson last year. So odds are, if you're questioning yourself, you're just trying, you're hoping and praying. And hoping and praying doesn't get you where you want to be. I think that's the end of it. Go.
Yep. Yes. All right, I'm going to point to you. Let it flip. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know me, there's a lot of new faces here. I was MIA for a while because I just had a baby. So, you might be looking at me saying, why would I listen to you? Why would I listen to you for nutrition information? Because it looks like you need to be doing some of this too. So, I'm not going to go through my CV. We'll skip that, but go ahead. So, when I had my first baby 4 years ago now, I gained 40 pounds. And I spent 10 months losing it. And I will say I probably got back to within 10 pounds of my pre-pregnancy weight by about 6 or 7 months. But then I was just in total denial that I needed to do more than just come and work out and eat whatever I want. It really came down to nutrition. So once I realized that and buckled down, finally 10 months out, I finished losing the weight. So I told myself, never again. Next time, I'm not gaining 40 pounds. That was horrible. So for baby number 2, I gained 45 pounds. But this time, I knew what I had to do. So like 2 weeks after he was born, I buckled down on the nutrition, and I lost it all within 6 months. So again, I told myself, I'm not gaining that much weight again. This time, I gained 48 pounds. So the baby was just born June 5th. Okay, so I'm only 14 weeks out, and I'm down 35 pounds. So I still have like 15 pounds to go. So I'm kind of right here doing the challenge along with all of you. So,
and you tried to do it last year while pregnant.
I did, that was my goal. I was not going to gain 45 pounds for the third baby. So I started off doing the challenge, and then nausea took over, and I was like, I need pretzels. So, all right, so weight loss is really tough. And the things that I hear people say around here are like, I hate tracking my food. But I have to eat enough to fuel my muscle mass. I work out so that I can eat whatever I want, which is partially true for me. I love to eat. Clearly, I'm able to gain 48 pounds with pregnancy. So I kind of am guilty of this. I do work out so I can eat more. Or I burn like 1,000 calories during a walk. And this is one of the newbie mistakes when it comes to CrossFit. And I certainly did this when I started CrossFit, which is like 6 years ago now. It was, all of a sudden I'm doing these workouts that are harder than anything I've ever done. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm burning so many calories. I'm so hungry, and I would just eat what I want. And guess what happened? When I first started doing CrossFit, I actually gained weight. I was increasing my performance and everything, but without keeping your nutrition in check, that's what's going to happen. So, Dan presented the macros, so you know what you should be eating, but if it only came down to macros, I don't think any of us would need to be here. You just say, okay, I'm just not going to eat sugar, and that's the end of it. It's not quite that simple if you're wanting to lose weight. So we'll talk about calories for a minute. Basically, you have to consume fewer calories than you burn. So you have to create a calorie deficit. So just a kind of quick and dirty way to estimate how much you should be eating. Take your current weight, multiply it times 10. And because you exercise, you're going to burn more calories at a resting rate, so you can add 200 to 300 to that number. So that's how much you need to eat to maintain your current weight. So let's say you're 150 pounds, you're gonna be eating about 1,800 calories a day to maintain your 150 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much. So then, a pound of body weight is about 3,500 calories.
Oops.
So to lose a pound a week, you need to subtract 500 calories from that. So that's like 1,300 calories a day, which really doesn't sound like much. So it's okay to go slower than a pound a week. And going a half a pound a week, that's totally fine. You'll be able to adjust things how you feel. It's not okay to go faster. To lose 2 pounds a week, you'd be looking at eating like 1,000 calories a day, which for no one is enough. So everybody's thinking that's it.
The reality is that if you're going faster, odds are you're not just losing fat anymore.
Right.
So your muscle mass is burning off, and we don't want to lose that. We want to keep it
Exactly, yeah. So remember, this is a ballpark, and it can be adjusted. No one here as an athlete, even thinner, lighter athletes, you shouldn't be going under 1,200 calories a day. If we have anybody who's like 110 pounds or something, then we can kind of sit down and figure out exactly how much you should be eating. But 1,200 a day should be the lowest anyone should be going. And the important thing to remember, this doesn't include your exercise calories. You get to eat those. So if you come here and do maybe 1,200 calories as your daily target, you're going to burn 300 coming here and doing 30 minutes of CrossFit, so you get 1,500 calories for that day, which is much better. People still might think that really doesn't sound like much food at all. So you won't pass out if you eat smart. So if you eat how Dan described with your pre and post-workout nutrition, so you eat to fuel your workouts, carbs pre-workout, protein post-workout, and you want to avoid the temptation of hoarding all your calories so that you can binge. Maybe you have whatever kind of treats planned out for after dinner or while you're watching TV. You want to avoid that. And you have to have your snacks too. Otherwise, you're not going to keep going. So setting your target, you can use that formula. And also consider your activity level outside of the gym. So if you sit at a desk for work all day, you might need to lower your target. If you are very active at work, like you do manual labor, you might even need to add more than 300 calories to your daily target. And you can adjust based on how you feel. If you set your target to be 1,500 calories and you felt horrible, you were starving, great, let's bump it up a little bit. Eat 1,600 calories and see how you do with that. But we also want to adjust within reason. Like I was saying, you don't want to say, oh, I'm so strong, I need that extra 500 calories a day. Let's, be reasonable here. So during the first week, because of how we're changing the macros, you might lose 5 pounds the first week. And that's just going to be mostly water weight, because you're going to be cutting out so much salt and other crap, you're going to just dump weight the first week. And then, after week 2, then you want to start adjusting how much you're eating based on your weight loss. So if you're still losing more than 2 pounds a week, you've got to eat more. And if less than a pound for 1 week is okay, if it happens for more than 2 weeks, you may have hit a plateau. So we might want to sit down and look at what you're actually eating. And then from there we decide, do we need to scale back on calories overall? So. Okay, so, there might be one more before that.
Yeah, how do I go back? Sorry.
Go back, you just hit the back arrow, yeah. Okay, so I know I think we have at least one mass gainer. So the mass gainers, you're kind of going to do the opposite here. So take your current weight times 10, add 500, and then another 2 to 500 on top of that. So you get to eat a lot of food, and I'm very jealous. Still gonna track your weight from week to week. Keep it the same if you are gaining. If you stop, you have to eat more. It's tough. You have to eat a ton. You have to eat constantly. I wish I had your problems here, but Jeff has this issue and he tracks his food. He has to eat like 3,000 calories a day. So we'll sit down to watch TV at night and I'll be like, I had enough calories to have a spoonful of peanut butter, which is not on the plan, but so that has to stop. To eat some almonds. I'm gonna eat some almonds because I have enough calories left over. Jeff will be like, oh, I have to eat another 500 calories. So
what I just wanted to add, so this number, add calories 500 for your mass gain. For mass gainers, and I know Steve, you did this last year, you did really well with it.
Yeah.
I started at 500, but odds are it's gonna be more. It's gonna be more like 1,000. But what I don't want is to see people bump 1,000 and start putting on fat. So we can start at lean weight and jump up, just because that's 1,000 is an aggressive number. And I think, Steve, you can also attest to this. I do totally get where Kim's coming from, saying like, hey, you know what, I wish I had to do this, but Steve, how hard is it to eat 4,000 calories a day?
It was awful.
Yeah, it becomes a job. I truly believe that the mass gainers is harder than the... Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and I would say this, I went back and forth with Nina Chang on Messenger today. For those of us who are good at gaining weight, it's way easier. But for the people who need to gain mass, I guarantee you that Steve would argue it's way easier to lose weight.
Yeah.
You know, and when Nina said to me, what are you talking about? Gaining weight's really easy. I said, ask Jeff. Jeff would say, oh, I ate a pizza, I'm down to a pound.
Yeah.
So, right, I know. And I say to Steve, I gained 12 pounds in 3 weeks, and he goes, so it's equally sucky both ways, but you guys, if you really want it, if you're a mass gainer and you really want it, you gotta push it, and you gotta go for it, and you gotta be eating, and I think I wrote, yeah, if you're not eating, you probably should be, it becomes a job, right Steve?
Yep.
Yeah, it's rough. So we can talk about it for people who really want to do that. I'm good.
Okay, all right, now that's slide. So basically this means everybody's gonna periodically weigh themselves during the challenge.
My favorite stuff.
So we're not concerned. Dan and I don't care what you actually weigh. Okay, we're not going to talk about what your target should be or what your ideal body weight is or anything like that. You're just going to use this as a tool to make sure that you're working towards your goal. You want to weigh in under roughly the same circumstances each week. Don't weigh in after a cheat day. If you did it right, you'll be retaining some water. Okay. If you're not, then you probably didn't really cheat very much, and maybe reward yourself a little bit more next time. And don't weigh in when you're swole. So the worst day to weigh in, I don't know, for me anyways, I usually cheat on Saturday. I'm retaining water on Sunday, still a little bit on Monday. Then Monday's squat day. So Tuesday morning, I'm retaining fluid just from my muscles being swollen. So I usually weigh in on like Wednesday or Thursday. Because it's just not a good idea to get stuck on the scale.
How often do you want to weigh?
I would say check your body weight once a week. Roughly once a week should be good. All right, so here I'm talking about kind of tracking your food basically. And I know a lot of people have a very strong aversion to tracking their food. So to make it a little bit more bearable, what you can do, for vegetables, eat as many vegetables as you want. Don't bother measuring your vegetables or weighing your vegetables. Track that you ate the vegetables and a serving of them, but don't really worry about it too much. Okay, don't worry about the quantity there. And remember, this doesn't include legumes, which would be like green peas. That's actually a legume. Beans, that kind of thing. And watch your food lubricants with the vegetables. So if you're putting, butter on your broccoli, you want to count your butter. That's a fat. Same thing Dan emphasized last year, ketchup. Ketchup is like it's full of sugar. So you also want to watch for sugar in your food lubricants. So a good one is like salsa is usually pretty safe. Just makes it taste better, goes down easier. Mustard,
Cheapest salsa.
Horseradish.
It's still good.
Yeah.
I've tried them all.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with salsa.
yeah. Okay, so fruit, basically similar to vegetables. You know, sit down, go ahead, click through. So eat as many strawberries as you want. Give yourself credit for a cup of strawberries, but you know, if you ate a cup and a half or 2 cups, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So your calorie dense foods, this is where you want to get serious about tracking. So your starches, the complex carbs, so the stuff you're allowed to eat, rice, sweet potato, beans, what am I missing here? Quinoa, yeah, that kind of thing. So for that, get out the measuring cups, you know, and depending on, you know, your body mass and your goals, you're going to adjust how much you take in for each serving. Protein. The best thing to measure protein with is a food scale. If, you know, I'm not insisting that everybody go out and purchase a food scale for the challenge, but it's really helpful because I can't tell you how often the amount of protein I eat is twice as much as I estimate it to be. You know, serving is technically 4 ounces, and I can easily sit down and eat, you know, 8 ounces of protein without even thinking about it. So it's really helpful for that. Same thing, there's other like chicken, for whatever reason, whatever I think is, you know, 8 ounces actually only ends up being like 5. So it just helps keep you in check there. And then your fats, this is really important. So basically this comes down to counting your nuts. And like Dan and I both know, Dan's serving of almonds is 24. I eat 14 or 15 a serving, but we're different size people here. So remember your macros. So the idea is you're going to load up on low calorie foods like veggies and fruits, and if you're doing it right, you'll be eating a ton of food. You'll have to get creative. This is, you know, called a challenge for a reason. Okay, so body fat percentage. So the people who already did the challenge last year already kind of know about this. It is higher than what you think it is, okay? Basically, kind of whatever number you might have in your head, let's just add 10% to that right now, just so people are not shocked when they get their numbers, okay? Last year, I think we were all kind of surprised about where people ended up. I would say, you know, the average was probably 30%. So the thing to remember is how you wear your body fat depends on what's underneath it, okay? And what 30% looks like on one person, it might look completely different on another. And in fact, I was surprised that some people who are thinner still had 30% body fat last year. So this is highly individualized. And even that 30% sounds horrible. It sounds like this is a very obese person. But there are a lot of people in this gym who you might say, oh, I would like to look like that person. And they actually have, you know, 25 to 30% body fat. So just start mentally preparing yourself for what you're going to hear when we measure you. The other thing to remember, the formulas that are used, so we're going to do the pinch test with the calipers. The formulas that were developed from that were based upon studies done on white cadavers, white male cadavers. So if you are not an old white dead man, then this may not accurately reflect your body weight. The important thing is, try not to get too hung up on what your number is. Try to just focus that it goes down as the challenge goes on here. And so I'm going to show you a picture here. Basically, and Dan thinks this picture's too nice, but I actually think it's pretty accurate. So
yeah,
we're down at 15 down here, and then up to 45% here. I guess it's kind of out of focus. Basically, if you can identify something on your body as being fat, you're at least 25 to 30%. The people who were as low as 20%, you can actually see muscles on their body. You can see veins too. So if you can see something like, okay, I got a little pouch right here, some love handles. I know I'm at least probably 30% right now.
Did you miss the numbers on that?
They correlate here.
Yeah, I totally
It's
think,
the same.
I totally think that's like, I think it's good. Yeah. I think it's a nice way to go.
Yeah, it actually is fairly representative. And I mean, on these people, they're distributing their mass perfectly. In reality, most people carry their fat in a certain spot. So just kind of keep this picture in mind, and let's be mentally prepared for when we get our numbers tonight. Dan, you want to go through
Sure.
this part?
Okay, so one other thing we didn't talk about in the changes from 2015 to 2016 was this is not a partner challenge. You're a sole individual. There were just some things that I didn't like the way it worked out. So you're on your own with this. How you do is all up to you. All right, so we're going to follow the rules. Basically, every single day you're going to eat meat, veggies, nuts, seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. Not strict paleo. You can have your peanuts, your beans, your dairies. Okay? Gluten, another villainized word out there. It's not technically banned, but typically by eliminating all of your processed foods, you've eliminated gluten. I truly believe that when people say, I went gluten-free, I lost all this weight, it's just because they stopped eating a lot of crap. So, and I think I talked about this too last year, like gluten-free crap is also still crap. So it kind of goes that paleo crap thing. We're going to require, Kim and I are going to require that you eat at least one piece of fruit per day. Don't be afraid of it. Okay? Nobody in this room is not where they want to be because of fruit. But if you're tracking and it's, so you're going to have a little bit more if it's your main carb source, but you're not going to go crazy, right? We're not going to eat a bushel of bananas. We're going to require 2 servings of veggies every day. All right, so 2 of your meals should have veggies. Why not make it all 3? A maximum of 2 starches. When we say starch, we're talking about rice, sweet potato, oatmeal, couscous, quinoa, those things. Okay, that's going to be somewhere in your breakfast or your lunch because we eliminated it from dinner. All right, pasta and bread are not allowed because they are processed. And we're eliminating all of your processed food. We talked about earlier, the foods in question. Ask before you eat it, because the odds are the answer is no. Pre- and post-workout nutrition is required. So when we look at your logs, we just want to see, did you have something to eat before you went to the gym? And did you have your protein shake? Just do your best with that. Basically, and technically, any of these things not happening means you cheated. All right? We're not going to go crazy and be like, oh my God, one day out of the last 30 you only have one veggie. But these are things that you want to do to keep yourself on the right track. All right? So
you're not going to get counted as a cheat because you forgot to eat a fruit. I don't know how you could doing this, but that will not count as a cheat. It won't help you, but that would lose a point, I would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably just shoot you an email and say, like, I've noticed in the last
that
week,
you're not eating
you
enough.
haven't had any fruit, technically you're not following the rules.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so level 1, anyone who's a level 1 is going to be with me. All right? This means you're somebody who is brand new to this, you've never done it before, you have no concept of what you should be doing, and your food quality right now is not where it should be. All right? We kind of work quality, and then we bring in quality and quantity. So you're going to eat your macros as we prescribe, right? Proteins, carbs, fats, getting them all in a reasonable balance, being close to that 30, 40, but not going crazy about it, not weighing, not measuring. Typically, if you eat correctly and you eat the correct quality, the quantity is going to take care of itself, because I cannot eat 7 cups of broccoli and overeat. It's just not going to happen. But I can eat 5 slices of pizza and overeat. You will get a point every single day that you eat healthy. You max out at 6 points per week. Okay? I do not want to encourage anyone to skip their cheat day. You earned it, enjoy it. There is some science behind the idea of an overfeed to restock your metabolism, and the reality is, when it's Wednesday and you're like, I am so tired of salad and chicken, at least you know, come Saturday, you're going out for dinner and you can have your appetizer and whatever you want and your dessert and all the booze that you want and like enjoy it. I think it's just a nice mental thing to carry on the end of the stick. And then when you do that, you don't feel guilty about it. So Kim is level 2.
So, the important thing, level 1, you are not, all those calorie goals that we talked about, you don't really have to think about that. Okay, we're keeping that as simple as possible. So if that's, for level 2, you are expected to be able to eat the macros as prescribed. That should not be rocket science to you. It will still be a little bit of a challenge. Your goal is going to be to eat within your calorie goal. So the macros that Dan listed, and you're going to try to eat within 100 calories of your calorie target. And that can be under or over. We're not going to be super picky that you went, 5 calories over. I would just recommend erring on the side of not going over every single day. So you're going to earn a point for calories. Again, it's expected that doing the macros is not rocket science to you. Okay, if that sounds really complicated, you want to stick with level 1. Okay. Or if I am just a chronic overeater. Sticking with these macros, it's difficult for me, but I can easily sit down and eat a whole pound of steak tips and not blink an eye. So I almost have to do it like this because I will still manage to overeat and gain weight doing it this way. So we'll get into this, but we will allow you to switch between level 1 and level 2 one time during the challenge. So if you're doing level 1 saying, you know what, I'm reviewed your food blog, you're still gaining weight, we might recommend that you switch to level 2 because you might actually be overeating. Or if you're doing level 2 and you're just floundering, you're cheating left and right, we might say let's just go back to level 1.
Yeah, I think that also not only where you are sort of in your food life right now, but personality plays a good role into this, right?
Yes.
If you're like a wicked, obsessive, compulsive person, okay, you're going to love this because you're like, oh my God, everything is totally controlled. And you're going to be someone who's like, I'm at 31%, I'm supposed to be at 30, okay? If you're someone, like my wife would just never do this. This does not work for her. She would really struggle, although I think she's going to try. But like this is really more fits somebody's personality. Goes, you know what? I'm just going to eat correctly and hope that it all falls in. And as I'm looking at those, as I've looked over the years at people's blogs, it just tends to fit. So, think about who you are, and that also going to make a choice. And Kim and I will discuss if somebody's really struggling. Maybe a squat works.
Switch it around, yeah.
And the other reason somebody I think might switch is, let's say you're a level 1, you're 4 weeks deep, and you're crushing it, and you're like, I am so ready to go to the next level. I'm going to start counting. You may make that call.
Yep.
And the points will all transfer over.
Yeah. The other thing, so like what Dan was saying, his wife Heather hates tracking, but she's also someone who can go to a restaurant and put aside half the food and like just take that home and then only eat the other half. Whereas I have no control. I have to eat like what's on my entire plate.
She'll go for ice cream and throw half away.
Yeah, never, yeah.
I got it small, I got it halfway done. I'm good. I'm like, I got a large and I ate the whole damn thing.
So the important thing to remember for level 2s, your pre and post nutrition, your pre-post WOD nutrition, that counts towards your overall calories, as does the allowed alcohol. Those are not freebies. So Dan was saying, everybody gets one cheat day. Now, an alternative that we're going to allow is doing 2 cheat meals instead. Doing the whole cheat day